A new and intense chapter has unfolded in the ongoing conflict, as Iran launched a powerful wave of missile strikes targeting central Israel. The attack struck deep into populated areas, sending shockwaves through cities that had only moments earlier been calm and quiet. Among the hardest hit locations was Ramat Gan, a densely populated area located near Tel Aviv, where residential neighborhoods suddenly turned into scenes of chaos and destruction. The strikes came without warning in the middle of the night. Within seconds, the peaceful silence was replaced by the deafening roar of incoming missiles. Sirens began blaring across the region, their urgent sound echoing through streets and buildings, signaling imminent danger. Residents were jolted awake, many still disoriented as they rushed to find shelter. Some barely had time to react before explosions lit up the sky. Flashes of fire illuminated the darkness as missiles descended, leaving trails of smoke behind them. The impact was immediate and devastating. Buildings shook violently, windows shattered, and entire structures were damaged or destroyed within moments. For many, it felt like the ground itself was collapsing beneath them. In one particularly tragic incident, a residential building in Ramat Gan suffered a direct hit. The missile struck with immense force, tearing through the upper levels of the structure. The explosion created a massive hole in the roof, causing parts of the building to collapse inward. Debris scattered in all directions, and thick clouds of dust quickly filled the air, making it difficult to see or breathe. Emergency responders arrived at the scene as quickly as possible, but the scale of destruction made their work extremely challenging. Firefighters, paramedics, and rescue teams carefully navigated through the wreckage, searching for survivors trapped beneath the rubble. Every second mattered, and the urgency was clear on every face. Inside one of the destroyed apartments, rescuers made a heartbreaking discovery. An elderly couple, who had been inside their home at the time of the strike, were found lifeless. The impact had been so severe that they had no chance to escape. Their home, once a place of safety and comfort, had been completely shattered. The scene inside the apartment was devastating. Walls had been blown apart, furniture was reduced to fragments, and a gaping hole in the ceiling exposed the night sky above. What remained was a haunting reminder of how quickly ordinary life can be turned into tragedy. Rescue teams continued their efforts, moving methodically through the building. While some focused on recovering victims, others worked tirelessly to assist the injured. Survivors were pulled from the debris, many suffering from shock, cuts, and fractures. Medical teams provided immediate treatment on site before transporting the wounded to nearby hospitals. For the residents who lived through the attack, the experience was nothing short of terrifying. Many described the moments of impact as pure chaos. The sound of explosions was overwhelming, followed by the sensation of buildings shaking and collapsing. People screamed as they tried to locate family members and neighbors. One resident recalled how the air suddenly filled with dust, making it nearly impossible to see. The confusion was intense, and the fear of additional strikes only added to the panic. Some believed that more missiles were on the way, forcing them to flee even as the destruction around them continued. Another witness described the emotional toll of the situation. The uncertainty, the fear, and the realization that lives had been lost created a heavy atmosphere of grief. People searched desperately for loved ones, calling out names in the darkness, hoping for a response. The psychological impact of such an attack cannot be understated. In moments like these, fear spreads rapidly, affecting entire communities. Even those who were not directly injured were left shaken, struggling to process what had just happened. According to Israeli authorities, the attack involved the use of a cluster munition. This type of weapon releases multiple smaller sub-projectiles over a wide area, increasing the likelihood of widespread damage. Officials stated that several of these submunitions struck different parts of the city, causing destruction across multiple locations. Police reports confirmed that one of these projectiles penetrated the roof of the residential building, leading to the fatal collapse inside the apartment. The use of such weapons in densely populated areas raises serious concerns about civilian safety and the potential for further casualties. Standing in the aftermath of the attack, officials and responders described the situation as deeply troubling. The targeted area was not a military installation but a civilian neighborhood filled with families. The repeated strikes on residential communities have intensified fears among the population. Observers noted that this latest barrage represents a significant escalation in the conflict. The scale, intensity, and choice of targets suggest a shift in strategy, one that could lead to even greater consequences in the coming days. The broader context of the attack adds another layer of complexity. The strikes come amid rising tensions following the killing of Ali Larijani in an earlier Israeli operation. Iranian leadership has vowed to respond, framing the missile barrage as part of that retaliation. As both sides continue to exchange attacks, the risk of a wider regional conflict grows. Reports indicate that not only are cities being targeted, but strategic assets and international interests are also at risk. This raises concerns that other nations could become involved, further escalating the situation. For now, the people on the ground are left to deal with the immediate aftermath. Rescue operations continue, and authorities are assessing the full extent of the damage. Families mourn their losses, and communities begin the difficult process of recovery. But the uncertainty remains. With tensions at such a high level, many fear that this may not be the end. The possibility of further strikes looms large, and the sense of vulnerability is stronger than ever. Residents are left wondering when, or if, the next attack will come. In the midst of destruction and loss, one thing is clear: the human cost of this conflict continues to rise. Behind every statistic is a story of lives disrupted, families broken, and communities forever changed. And as the world watches, the question remains: how far will this escalation go, and what will it take to bring it to an end?